How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Yard Dad. Today we're going to be transplanting a tree, and then I'll be moving 2 shrubs as well. We'll be transplanting those, and I'll be this one that's right behind me, this Columnar Blue Spruce. It keeps not getting watered enough. It's in a container right now, so this is the one that we'll be planting, and then we'll be transplanting the ones that we pull out of that area. That area is right here. So eventually this one will be moved to the front. This is the one that we'll be transplanting. It's another type of Colorado blue spruce. It's actually got a funny name. Can't remember the name. If you know the name of it, I think it's like somebody's name, or like Kowski or something like that. But this one's really cool. It's got a lot of cool colors that it pushes. Transplanting is pretty easy. As you can see, this thing down here, when I planted this, I kept it raised up a little bit. The soil over here is excellent now because I've backfilled all of this with good fresh soil and stuff like that. So basically what I'm doing is I'll be moving this shrub, and I'll be moving the one behind it, and then this will be planted where this one is sitting, and then this one will be going into the place of where all those were. So super easy, not too much. I'm hoping there's not a wasp nest over here. I saw a piece on the ground, but it's so windy today. I don't even know, maybe it just blew from somewhere, but I just found a little bit of a nest. I've seen quite a few of them around today. So just kind of be careful if you have something sitting in a container for a while and then you're gonna go plant it. Just watch out for those hornet's nests and wasp nests and all that stuff, especially if you see them buzzing around. But I tend to find them more near these evergreens or in them than anything else. Everything else is looking good. And then of course we'll, in the front, on the sidewalk strips today, I'll also be overseeding and doing a little bit of a top dress mix to put on top of the overseed. Kind of working on an area down there for a while, but everything else is looking great. Check out the lawn back here. Lawn's looking real nice since that top dressing that we did. And yeah, it's almost time to cut it again. But I'm gonna move this first. What we'll do is I'm gonna come over here, and all you need is a shovel. I got my shovel, bag of topsoil. Basically what I'm going to do is, if you're just planting a tree, for instance, this container has been sitting here for a while, so it's basically already making the hole for me where the grass is. Now, if you're trying to plant something and you have a bunch of grass, the best thing to do is to find out how big you need that hole. I usually go twice as wide, twice as deep. The wider, the better, in my experience. If you've got compacted clay soil, you don't have to go as deep. The compacted clay soil, I'll show you some tricks when we're planting this thing about that, because over here it is compacted clay. One of the cool things about this is that it's already done the work for me by killing off the grass just by sitting there. If you do have grass like that and you're just going to cut into it, you can do that, but you can also leave some cardboard out. You can cut it into a circle or whatever shape you want. Leave it there for a couple days, come back and pull it up. The grass will be dead, and then you'll have your spot, and it'll make it a little easier for you to dig. This is going to be real easy to dig. Over in here, it's very, very easy for me to dig because this was all created by my wife and I. So, we added all of this soil, and it's all very good soil. But eventually, basically what's going to happen is I'm going to have a lot more stuff like this because we're creating a screen. And anything that's not like this can become a screen. I'm trying to think of the name of this one as well. It's a Korean something, but this one's going to go in the front, and it's going to be perfect for right next to, say, like some electrical boxes or something like that. I'll have to find out the name of this one, the exact name for you. But this one is definitely a tree. The spread on this one, I believe, is 3 feet, and then it can get up to 5 feet, something like that. Or it could be 7 feet by 5. I can't totally remember, but over there it's going to have plenty of space. And then this shrub, I'll just be digging a hole and putting it over there somewhere. Over on the other side of the house. And then this one back here will actually be going into this spot right here, this empty spot, just for now. Super easy transplanting. Depending on where you live, I recommend you do early spring when you do this, or fall. Now, where I live, tomorrow it's going to be 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So, I don't really, I've never had problems transplanting or shocking them or freaking them out or anything like that. The only thing that I've ever had problems with is the containers, the roots. They're going to circle in a container, which is another reason why I need to get this thing planted. I'm going to show you how to pull the roots out before you plant something out of a container too. Some important steps with that, because any of that type of stuff, most trees are planted wrong when it's just like thrown in for a new community or a neighborhood or something like that. Most of the times they're putting in the trees wrong. Will they grow? Probably. They'll be fine. If you're spending your hard-earned money on something like this, these things aren't cheap. Even if it costs you a penny, right? You've spent money on something, you want it to last, right? And you want to cherish what you bought. So just make sure that it gets planted right. I'm going to go ahead and get this one moved, and I'm going to get that one tree pulled out right now, and I'll show you exactly how you go about doing all of that. Super easy stuff here. Just watch out for the hornets and yellow jackets and carpenter bees and all the crazy stuff that might come out of this thing when I move it. But it's been a while since I've moved this one, but all of my other evergreens have done great back here. Definitely, it's got plenty of new growth up here, as you can see. That's generally, you want to pull it or move it before you're getting all that new growth. But like I was telling you, around here, it's not as big of a deal. All right, just got done planting this. And as you can see on my roots here, when I first planted this thing back in the day, I spread all those out, the roots out. That's how you want to do it, especially for compacted clay soil. But basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that soil, that topsoil that I mixed with its own soil, and I'm going to put this back in around it. And I already put some underneath and kind of mashed it in and kind of aerated it with the shovel a little bit and mixed it. I'm going to come around and I'm going to keep packing down and slowly lifting it up, and we're going to try and make it straight. Now it's pretty straight. These things grow kind of weird. It looks good. I left enough space back here so I can get in. It's got a little space to grow. It's kind of lined up pretty good with everything else here. Yeah, we're just going to be coming around and then putting its native soil mixed with the topsoil. We'll just be going around it, packing it down, and then you can, if needed, you can lift it up a little bit and then pack more down, and that's it. I'm not even putting any mulch or anything around it like that. It doesn't need it. That's pretty much it, how you transplant a tree. And you just make sure that those roots are going outwards, not like down or wrapped or anything like that. And I'm going to show you right now with the container, the one in the container, when we plant that, you're going to see it's probably going to be all crazy in there. And I'm going to have to pull it out with my hands and kind of massage out the roots and make them go flat out. You want them going outward, right? So we're going to do that right now. And I'm going to get that moved over here. First, I'll put the dirt around this, get this packed in and kind of straightened out just a tad bit more. Everything's looking good, no problems. And then we'll overseed the front. It's kind of windy, not the best day to do it, but I'll show you my, I guess you could kind of say my top dressing mix that I put on top of my seed when I overseed. And this is just a small area, part of my test area in the front, but everything's looking good. Let's go ahead and finish with this one real quick, get that dirt around it, and we'll get to planting. definitely starting to get worn out. It is 81 degrees Fahrenheit today, and then it's dropping down to 50 degrees Fahrenheit tomorrow, which is pretty crazy jump. And it's gonna rain for like 5-6 days straight. So I don't really know what's going on with that weather, but this is totally done. I want you to just see what I'm talking about with the dirt here. You don't have to put mulch. It's not needed. There's mulch bits that are in this topsoil. There's sand in this topsoil. There's organic matter. There's all sorts of different stuff in this topsoil. Totally good with that. And this one's organic. It's topsoil plus. So you can find like OMRI certified bags if you want to use organic. Pretty much all the bags that I grabbed, they are. So we're done with that. Totally done with that one. And also, sorry about the wind. Been kind of a brutal day. I can tell it's going to be a pretty crazy storm that's coming. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this tree over. We're going to cut it, rip the container off of it. I'm going to show you how hopefully it's not root bound. But if it's root bound, I'm going to show you what we do with that. But we're going to do that regardless, even if it's not. And then we're going to put it in the hole I dug over here. We're ready to go. Let me show you the hole real quick that I dug over here, so you can see the size that we're working with here, right? This is kind of angled that way, so if it looks kind of weird. So I'm going to get it in there. The soil in here is already mixed with the native, so we don't have to really do that, but I will add some more topsoil. I'm going to grab a bag of topsoil and a knife. I'm going to go grab this thing right now. The best way to grab these things is to put it on its side. You could put it on a cardboard box and slide it. I unfortunately don't have a cardboard box big enough right now. And turn it. If you're working by yourself, this is the best way to do it. Just want to clarify that. All right, so super easy with these. I recommend you just get a box cutter and you just slice just like that. Slice down where the roots are coming through. You can slice right there and drag from each one to each one, and then it's just going to come right off. Wanted to show you real quick before I plant it, and then we'll get to the front. But these are main roots. There's still some burlap up here. They were being choked out by the string that the burlap is tied with. So I've been cutting some of that string, loosening some of these main roots. We're going to spread these out. You can kind of see the ball forming. And then we're going to put it straight in the middle there and do the same thing how we did over there. And I just want these growing outward. Totally good. So real good roots. When you break up these little ones and pull them out, it actually stimulates root growth. It's actually a good thing, just kind of massaging that part. But down here you can be a little bit more rough, especially on the bottom. But just be more cautious when you're up here. So we got that one put in, right? The transplant. And then over here, here's the new one. And then of course I'll add some mulch and stuff like that. But now it's gonna be happy, now it's gonna breathe. It's gonna be like this globe. we're probably going to keep this, the Mugo, move the globe, and then put another one of these, a different color right here. And basically what I'm doing is with the Mugo and with this, and we might still move this, not sure yet. And with this one, I'm building a screen. So if we do move this one, I'm trying to get kind of like an evergreen screen going. So we probably will be moving this one to the front. And I'm going to just get everything watered in. Of course, you want to water it in real good. Yeah, we got a bunch of rain coming now. Get it watered in, and then we'll go finish in the front. So I'll see you tomorrow, and yeah, we'll wrap that up. All right, well, it's the next day. I've got everything picked out here that we'll be using for this overseed. This is what I use for my overseed. I always get some potting mix. Shout out to one of the subscribers for mentioning that they use the stock green one. This is the same one that I always use, and it has a very small amount of fertilizer in it too. And I've always used this one, and then there's another one. If I find it, I'll put the link to it in the description. But real good stuff. I mix this typically with a soil amendment like Humichar. I generally mix it with something like this, but we've already done that in that area. All I'll be doing is I'll be putting down some seed. I've got perennial ryegrass right here. I'll measure out what I need for the little sidewalk strip area. I'm going to put that down first. And when I put down grass seed, I usually use one of these. It's just a Scott's one. And then that way you don't get up in the mulch beds or waste product or get it on the street or whatever. Whereas this thing right here, this thing will be fine for the top dressing of the potting mix. So we seed first, put a seed down. You can rake, dethatch, aerate, whatever you want to do. We don't need to do any of that. It's already been done. I'll probably dethatch later on in the season. We'll do a whole thing about that. Put your seed down first and then top dress with this. That's it. It's super easy. We're about to get a ton of rain, so I kind of rushed out here real quick before it gets kind of crazy. So that's going to help. And then, yeah, it's going to look nice. So let me just show you the sidewalk strip real quick. This is the area right here. I've already raked it. I've already aerated it. And yeah, it's just not looking so well. I need to replace a sprinkler head still down here too. I'm going to go ahead and put the seed down. And as soon as I get done with that, then we'll come back and we'll top dress with the potting soil. All right, that was it. Super easy. My spreader, there's like a stick that got stuck in the bottom of it or something. And I was trying to mess with it in the garage, so couldn't get that to work without having to dump everything back out. So I just ran the compost roller and it did a great job. So got the seed done. Kind of raked it after I put the top dressing down. You can rake before, it doesn't matter. And then for top dressings, if you watch my other videos on that, my last one, I believe I talked about some of that stuff. Generally top dress with mushroom compost, silica sand, potting soil. There's a bunch of different ones that I top dress with. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. So if you're seeding, I generally use mushroom compost, but you know, I will make an entire thing about overseeding. I'll just do a whole thing about it. But that was just a quick touch up. Just get the seed down, rake it, spread some top dressing, whatever you want to put down. The potting soil and the mushroom compost are going to be the best with the seed for me. So it's always worked out great for me. That's it. I hope you learned something about transplanting and planting trees and moving shrubs and all that. Blue spruces look awesome back there. Right now, everything's looking good. We've got all the rain coming, and now you know a little bit about how I top dress and overseed, especially on like sidewalk strips or near mulch beds or anything like that. Always use that hand one for spreading the seed like that. Yeah, I hope you learned something. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching The Yard Dad.